Hello, I will start now with the next remark concerning business immorality and corporate social responsibility, namely the ninth remark entitled Fine Young Criminals, Corporate Social Responsibility. A companion paper is by Maja Martinovic, Stipe Buzar and myself, 2012, Fine Young Criminals, Corporate Social Responsibility on the Virtues of the Wicked and the Common Good Performed by Egoists. Okay, paper is published in online journals, so it will be easy for you to follow some ideas. Well, in this short remark and all of this one and the following remarks will be quite short, and I will only explain some elements of CSI concerning the issue discussed issues and issues which are connected to the previously explicated topics. Therefore, in this paper, what is of course I will not explicate all elements of the paper, where the basic idea is to compare social responsibility by for one thing, in principle, in terms of modeling as an activity, to compare two companies and their CSR, corporate social responsibility. Well, now if we imagine such a case, then if we say that we have two companies, Alpha and Beta, and we compare their basic business performances and their CSR performance concerning the at least some basic features of these elements of their business. Therefore, as the table in the paper, this table shows, say that in terms of legality of a core business, Alpha is legal while Beta is illegal. In terms of performance of a corporate crime, Alpha performs such crime while Beta does not. Concerning the financial performance, they are both Alpha and Beta are quite successful, and selective CSI element, as explained before, selective CSI is explained in the first remark. Any situation in which a company is quite selectively socially responsible in one of its aspects of its business, especially core business, while it is CSR in some other aspect, or even in the same aspect, but in different time, concerning different stakeholder group, etc., various variables. And concerning this point, Alpha is selectively socially irresponsible, while Beta is not. And now CSR features. Alpha manifests CSR selectively, while Beta does not. Alpha doesn't manifest or display authentical CSR, while Beta is. Third feature, CSR is manifested in Alpha not at all anonymously. The company even creates at least a substantial part, not a small amount, but a substantial part of its marketing based on such CSR activities by itself, while Beta is CSR, socially responsible, completely anonymously. And now benefits, as the last feature, benefits from CSR. Economic benefits in return in Alpha are seriously present, while in beta, company beta, they do not exist, at least not as manifested as real economic benefits. Perhaps there are benefits, economic benefits, but we cannot really see them. They are beneath. Okay, hidden. And non-economic benefits in return, while alpha surely has substantial, relevant non-economic benefits in return, while, well, beta, company, so-so, it depends, 50-50, okay? Well, now let me ask you, which company would you say that alpha is, and which company would you say that beta is? Probably, most of the people would say, okay, let's start from the beginning, because now you're into the story. You don't remember that at the beginning I said that beta was illegal business, while alpha was legal. And now compare this series of features that I listed, and I gave certain values to each feature concerning alpha and beta. Now, this doesn't make sense, because it seems that it is possible, perhaps probable, if not the case really, and we will show further on that it is the case, that illegal businesses could be, or in fact are, if there are cases, more socially responsible and less socially irresponsible than legal businesses. Now, the point at this step of the argument, the point is not to further research these organizations or companies. The point is that we reflect, that we use that distinction between alpha and beta in order to reflect on our own description, criterion, definition, I don't know, measure of corporate social responsibility, in order to redescribe it, because we don't use such examples in daily life of a CSR professor, writer, researcher, activist. We don't use them. Why we do not use them? Because they undermine our basic CSR intuition. It is impossible in our understanding of CSR that a company which is completely illegal, in fact criminal, could display CSR more and CSI less than, say, legal company or organization. Okay, now there are various examples, and I will skip this. There are middle cases and mixed cases. Okay, I will only go to our example which shows how it is possible that a company can really, in a particular real case, can belong to category alpha and to category beta. Well, let us compare, for instance, I don't know, we have few examples, and examples are really hard ones and real ones, concerning, for instance, comparison between United Nations and some officials of the United Nations were under investigation and under serious suspicion concerning various activities that are mostly thought of as being seriously socially responsible, such as corruption, conflict of interests, nepotism, etc. And so we have such organization, which it's not just legal organization. Their business isn't just legal business. They have some kind of legitimacy in society as essentially socially responsible organization, especially concerning some of their basic tasks concerning their charter or similar documents, basic documents, such as developing, promoting, and protecting human rights, say, for instance, and similar. Now, another example, so this would be an example of alpha. An example of beta would be a mafia. Mafia. In various situations, we have few examples. We found examples from mafia in Italy, mafia in Poland, mafia in Japan, and even some data about mafia in United States. Now, all of these examples are quite fine, and each and every of them emphasizes, if we move away these cultural differences, mafia traditions and schools of doing criminal business in different parts of the world, the most explicit way of CSR action in terms of beta in our example is in fact Japanese mafia. And the point is quite simple. So during various problems concerning situation with some disasters in Japan in last decades, Japanese mafia manifested a series of essentially socially responsible activities. Namely, well, there were a series of earthquakes, and in a few cities, these earthquakes were really damaged the infrastructure, the buildings. Really, they produced really a lot of harm to people and to environment and to all the buildings and communication, etc. Now, since the critical period after the earthquake is first 24 or 48 hours, I don't know these technical things, it is important to help in this short critical period. Well, the local institutions that should help and in fact should be prepared for such situation didn't do that because they couldn't. Now, who did help? Well, mafia helped. And as far as we know, and our data come from transparent public sources that can be found on the internet concerning the earthquake in Kobe, etc., similar cases, and some from some few reliable sources. Okay, we cannot mention them in the paper, but we thank them a lot concerning this information. Now, as far as we know, they didn't ask anything in return. They didn't use this as some kind of advertising their own activity. What would it mean that the mafia advertises itself as a bunch of good guys? This means to go against the business. Well, we are not good guys. We are bad guys, you know. But we cannot be bad guys if there are no good guys. And after earthquake, this was in question. And perhaps this was some kind of a sentiment toward the local community. You know, we come from this community. Okay, we are bad guys, but we come from this community. We should do something for them in return. Not in order to advertise ourselves, not in order to do our business. In order to help them when they are in need and nobody else can help them. So this was really, as it was said, as I mentioned at the beginning, this was really CSR, which was manifested selectively, non-selectively, but so everybody was helped as much as possible. It was authentical, completely authentic CSR, and it was done anonymously. Okay, information found their way, but in principle, this was done anonymously. Okay, so the idea is that a legal and organization with quite humane legitimacy, such as United Nations or Red Cross or I don't know, Caritas or Catholic Church, we have such examples in Croatia. They're essentially humane organizations that their essence, their core business is to protect human rights, is to help poor, etc. And if socially responsible actions are found in such companies, then it is not just a bad thing about these institutions and organizations and companies, after all. It is a kind of attack on our basic values, which are manifested in our basic practices that can be described as humane practices, no? As caring practices, as said in previous remark. Okay. While on the other hand, in terms of beta company, for instance, Japanese mafia displayed complete social responsibility in its purest form, quite simple and quite efficient, with quite measurable results. So this is the point. So if this is the case, if it is the case, then we should rethink our concept of social responsibility and what it really means to be socially responsible. It isn't reserved just for legal businesses. Social responsibility can be manifested by each and every physical person, individual, by each organization, by each company, by each part of society, group, family, local community. Okay? It doesn't matter if it has legitimacy or not. It doesn't matter if it's legal or not. It doesn't matter if its core business is dirty like oil or humane like in the United Nations or Caritas. Okay? It doesn't matter. This is the point. So, in a way, we need to rethink and redescribe our concept of social responsibility, and within that, of corporate social responsibility, consequently, in order to make it more precise, more pure. And on the other hand, we should keep the dependence or close relation of such redescribed phenomena and concept, close relation to particular cases. Because these particular cases are not exceptions. They are not exceptions. Perhaps they are exceptional, yeah, but they are not exceptions, really. They are paradigm cases, in fact. Paradigm cases. Paradigm cases of what? Okay, mafia, a case of mafia, Japanese mafia could be thought of as, I don't know, some kind of exception. They are just exception to the rule. Well, suppose that there are other examples, and there are other examples. No? Other examples. Examples in different cultures, in different states. So, if this is a paradigm case, paradigm of what? Well, it is a paradigmatic case of what corporate social responsibility should be. What should be in all other cases. And in all other cases, it is so, but only partially, only inauthentically, only selectively, etc., etc. All these features that I mentioned at the beginning. That's it. This is the point. So, this was the remark concerning finding criminals' corporate social responsibility, or as we entitled our paper, on the virtues of the wicked and the common good performed by egoists. Well, that's it. That's, in fact, ninth remark. Thanks.